four basic components to it. You're looking at your form rails, and these come in various thicknesses, anywhere from a 1/2 inch all the way up to 2 inches, standard being 3/4 to 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and so on. One side of these form rails is coated in a clear plastic. That gives you a casting surface of which to cast your concrete countertop or other pieces into. That goes on the inside of the mold. We also have what's referred to as pressure-sensitive adhesive, or PSA tape. It's a vinyl tape, and it gets applied to one side of the form rails. When you're ready to put them into place, you peel the protective layer off of it, and you stick it into place. We also have what's called clear facing tape. And the clear facing tape is made of the same material that your form rails are made of. Basically, if you had two pieces that came together, your clear facing tape would span the entire distance, making a seamless piece. Now, the fourth component to the Surecrete system is your casting mat. It's a clear protective film. One side has a clear plastic on it as protective that you leave on there until the end, until you're ready to do your pour, and we're going to go over that. But it's a sacrificial layer between your casting deck and your concrete. So if you're using an expensive casting material, like this is expanded PVC, it's a sacrificial layer in between my concrete and the two pieces, so I can reuse my PVA, my expanded PVC, over again. So, in order to use this system, the first thing that you do is squeegee down your casting mat. And that's done with some soapy water, simple soapy water. Put it on. You get the casting mat aligned properly, making sure it's not hanging over any of the edges. And you squeegee out that water going in one direction. Here I'm going from my left to right, pushing out any dirt, any air that might be caught between the two surfaces. And when I look at it at an angle, I can see that I've done a pretty good job. I've got most of the dirt that was caught between these two surfaces out of the way. But I'm going to do it one more time just to ensure that all the dirt's gone. Now I'm going to start on the same side again and go in the same direction. You don't want to go back and forth this way and this way. You're just going to push the dirt back and forth. What you want to do is keep taking that dirt and pushing it out the side in the same direction. Now, one thing I like to do while I'm working is taking a look as I'm moving. If I've got a piece of dirt that's caught in between the two surfaces as I'm going, I'm going to push that water back, break it loose, and get it to carry forward and out of my casting area. So all this has the same principles of window tinting. This piece of casting, this base material, this casting mat, is stuck on there. It's not going anywhere. It's affixed in place. And it starts the groundwork on which we begin doing our forming. So in this case, what I'm going to show you is the reduction method. And basically what it involves is casting a piece that looks to be 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 or greater. And actually it's only 1 inch thick. We'll start off using our front profiled edge. Now I've already got my outline drawn onto my casting deck. You can see here we're just doing a simple square. This will be our leading edge, or profile edge. That'll have the larger drop down. And we're just going to take, now I've skipped a couple steps on you guys. I'm going to show you this at the end. But we're just going to take that protective layer that was on the PSA tape, the red tape there, affix it to our foam, and stick it down in place. Now this is a 2 1/4 inch drop down edge that we're doing. When our casting deck is actually only going to be 3/4 of an inch. Again, these are the higher thickness as well. Again, I'm being sure to place that protected edge of the foam on the inside of my mold. Now, this is my back edge of the countertop. It's going to be the same size as the rest of my casting deck. But let me show you how I apply this tape. Now, this is the protective side. This is the side that's got our same material, our casting deck material on the side of the foam there. And I'm going to apply the tape in such a manner that it's as close to that edge as possible. Now, this is a vinyl tape. So that vinyl tape will not wick the moisture out of your concrete while it's curing. A lot of guys want to use fiber tape, and that just sucks all the moisture out of your slab and causes ringing, a little white ring around the whole entire countertop from lack of moisture. A little trick to getting this tape off is to cut it as short as possible against your foam. Press it straight down, just like that, and peel it straight back. Cut this with a razor blade. It saves a lot of time compared to the traditional melamine. We get the caulk, the screw, grip. So now, if you take a close look at this form, what you can see we've done is we have a casting surface here that's 3/4 of an inch thick, and with a profile up front that's 2 1/4 inches thick. You're probably asking, well, how are you going to get the product to stay in a fashion that's like where it's reduced and drops down? In this case, I'm just using a piece that acts as a dam. I'm just going to drop it into place as such when I do my casting. So initially, at this point, I'd fill my surface, I'd fill my casting deck area. When it's full and level all the way throughout, I'm going to apply this into place, use something to affix it. From floating. And I'm going to continue my pour on this front edge. Taking care now that I'm rubbing that front profile edge, that surface, whether I have a form liner in there or an edge detail of some sort, air trapped on that surface, you want to rub that loose, break it loose, and so you have a desirable profiled edge. Once you've completely got this filled up, after about 30 to 45 minutes with the Extreme Countertop Mix, you can remove this. The product does not need to cure. It's in a gel-like state, and you can clean that edge if need be. Now, one last trick, and this works with all of the forming rails that have the coated plastic on them, is your clear facing tape. Now this clear facing tape, remember I said we could go around the mold. This is 1.5 inch clear facing tape. We could go around the entire mold, do small radiuses inside and out, span where 2 joints come together to make one flush surface. But it also works to help us bend the foam. You're like, well, what's the point of bending the foam? Okay. you put this tape on this edge, and you have it pressed firmly into place, go ahead and trim your excess scrap. Now you can take the material. If you have to do inside radiuses, sink knockouts, whatever you need to do, you can do it. Now, you're probably wondering what to do with the crinkled up piece. Just leave it there. Go ahead and apply your double-sided stick tape. Put this in the place where you'd want it on your casting deck. Once it's affixed in place, you have it put where you want it. Remove this. And recoat the surface with the clear facing tape material again, and it will yield you a completely smooth inside or outside radiuses. As far as how tight you can bend them, the foam, that's a pretty tight bend. If you need to go and as a tighter bend, you might want to rip this on a table saw to make it thinner.